Awesome. All right, welcome to our Body Electric weekly webinar for mid-August. I can't believe we are already halfway through August. School's back in session in Central Indiana. It's been a dreary few days. I'm pretty sure Chris is probably already asleep right now on the couch. It's first official full week of teaching for the year. Tonight, I'm super excited because I have some announcements for you, but I also have some, I think, useful information, or I hope it's useful information regarding sort of what I've learned about people and how they act and what they really want and what they need, just from owning a fitness studio and having a lot of interpersonal contact with people on a daily basis, and how that might translate over into our business. You know, most of us are on social media with this business, so I think it still translates. So I have a PowerPoint for you. I asked our Diamond coaches, do you like it when I do a PowerPoint, or do you like it when I go off the cuff? And they said that they like the PowerPoint because then they know what to write down and they know what top tips to take away. So I'm gonna hit screen share. Let's hope it works. Hang on one sec. All right, cool. So when I do this though, I can't see you. So if like something happens, if one of you guys would send me a text message, that would be fantastic. Okay, so I'm gonna dive into the topic here in a minute. I actually have some announcements for you first, and I even have one that's not on this slideshow, so I'll touch on that too. The first thing I want to tell you is that next week during this call time, we're going to be doing our live sneak peek event on Facebook. Okay, so if you're new to this team and you don't know what that means, basically that means that from 9 to 10 p.m. Eastern time, which is our usual time slot for this webinar, we're going to be doing a live Facebook event where about 6 coaches will be sharing their personal stories on what coaching has meant for them and what coaching means to them now through a Facebook Live event. So it's really cool because you can invite people, you can invite your friends on Facebook. They just have to RSVP to the event, and then they just tune into that live page from 9 to 10. Every 10 minutes we have a new post, so they'll have to just click refresh. It's a really cool thing. We typically have a lot of great energy on those live events, and it's been, I think, like 2 to 3 months since we did a live event because the summer was kind of hectic. So it'll be our first comeback sneak peek event. So we'll be doing that instead of the team call next week. It'll be in place of it. So that live event will go live, that actual Facebook event will be available to you for inviting your coaches or your potential coaches by this Friday. It's on my to-do list to get it done before Friday. So you'll be able to have access to that before the end of this week. Go ahead and start inviting people in your private conversations and keep it simple. Just talk to them and say, hey, my team's hosting this thing next week. You know, this thing I'm doing where I'm kind of like totally obsessed. And I'd love for you to hear more about it because I think it might be something you're interested in too. Would you want to click, yes on the RSVP and take a look? And so I think it's a really simple way to invite people without feeling like you have to know everything about coaching. So this is something that we want to get into the habit of having these types of events for our prospective coaches. The Country Heat Test Group, I think, has already kicked off. It officially begins with the first workout on Monday, this coming Monday, the 22nd, but Abby has already rocked it off. She posted the link to the group in our team page, so all you have to do is just click to join that and then add your people. So remember that people had to have purchased the Country Heat Challenge Pack in order to participate in the test group. So that is underway. Last but not least, I'm sure you've already heard it by now because I've live streamed about it, I've posted about it, there's been all kinds of stuff on the team page this week about how we're now handling our team-led challenge groups. We have a designated Diamond leader from our team for every challenge group that we offer. So if you need to refer back to see who you need to contact about a particular group, now you know. Now you can just search in the team page. So that should make things run a lot more smoothly, and it should help us to provide even more value in our challenge groups. So as far as live events, we do have a couple of them coming up next week. The first one is called a Vital Behaviors Training with Kim Carter. I apologize that I don't know Kim's official title with Beachbody, but he works with Beachbody Corporate. I'm friends with him on Facebook, and he is very inspirational. He's a very good writer. I've heard that he like totally brings the emotion in a room and that he's a very good speaker as well. So it sounds like he has the gift of communication. Beachbody has hired him to work with some field representatives. So he's coming Tuesday of next week, the 30th, and he'll be at the Ritz-Charles in Carmel. That's where Super Sunday was. He'll be there from 6 to 9 p.m. if you want to come and take that training. There is a link for that training that's been posted in our team page. I believe that there's a ticket cost associated with it. I don't know it off the top of my head, but I do know that it'll be well worth your dollar. And then the next day, my upline coach, Julie Voris, is hosting a diamond training event. She hosts this exact event annually. I went to it last year. Dawn and I both went to it last year, and it was phenomenal. So I hope that you can make it. If you're a diamond coach on this team, you're welcome to attend. It is the following day from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. So next Wednesday at the Palladium in Carmel. And like I said, you have to be a diamond in order to attend that training. Kim's going to be there, Julie will be there, and Danielle Natoni is speaking as well. Oh, yeah, and there's one other announcement that I did not put on the slide because I just hashed out a few details with our leaders of the team regarding the upcoming health bet. Hopefully you had a chance to watch last week's webinar where we watched the Super Sunday video. We learned all about the new upcoming product releases for the end of 2016. And so hopefully you remember us hearing about and talking about the health bet, which is an opportunity for our prospective customers to participate in a challenge group through the My Challenge Tracker app and potentially be rewarded for it, potentially be rewarded for clocking in their shakes and their workouts, which is pretty cool. So we're gonna be doing something team-wide for the health bet. We're working on the details for that, but just know that we will have an official health bet happening as a team initiative. So you should be inviting people to this. They should know that they can earn money for working out. As Katie said, they can earn money for working out and for working on those goals. So people get really into this sort of thing in like January timeframe. They'll do like Biggest Loser competitions at work. There might be money on the table for those types of things. People get really, really invested when their money is invested. So I think this is a good way to get people motivated and get them into something new and refreshing. It's called the health bet. So, okay, let's dive into tonight's topic. I'm gonna move my notebook. I'll wait to take questions from you till the end, and I literally feel like I'm talking to myself because I can't see you. I only see my my PowerPoint. But I'm just gonna hope that you're there because otherwise I would have heard from somebody by now. So, okay, so I have owned my fitness studio for, it'll be 3 years in September. And I'm actually working right now. I hope to release it this week. I'm working on something really cool, which is called a Gym Owners Academy, which is going to be all sorts of amazing resources for small group fitness studio owners to take part in so that they can learn how to actually earn an income while they own a gym, how to partner network marketing with a gym opportunity, and how to really grow, a sense of community and build.
I agree.
Their studio. If you have not hit mute yet, if you could do that, sorry, it's just a little bit distracting. So if you could hit mute in the bottom left corner, that'd be great. Okay, so tonight I want to share with you just what I've learned. It's not like I have 30 years of experience. I have 3 years of experience, but I do feel like if I have one major strength that I'd like to share with you, it is what Gary Vaynerchuk calls EQ, which is your emotional intelligence. I feel like I have a pretty good feeling for how people think, how they behave, what they want, and what they need. And so I feel like over the past 3 years, I've been really intuitive when it comes to meeting people for the first time, building that relationship with them, and then learning a lot about people in general and what they want from us as coaches, right? So my main takeaway for you tonight, sometimes I have multiple, but if you come away from this webinar and you only have one, I hope you at least know that people want and need what we have. Most people do not recognize what we have to offer as a MLM or pyramid scheme type of activity. They actually want and need what we have. And what they want and need is us. That's what they want. They need the accountability, the belief, and the support. So we're gonna dive into that, but I wanted to make sure you at least know that if nothing else tonight, you're coming away from this webinar thinking, you know what, people really do want and need what I have to offer, and this toolbox that I have with Team Beachbody is gonna supply that. So, okay, so I broke this down. I was sitting here today trying to come up with these notes for you guys, and I was like, okay, I guess I'm just gonna narrow it down and share with you, I guess, my top 10 things that I've learned about people. And this is generally speaking, okay? So I might share some stories. I'll try to keep everybody anonymous, but this is in general what I've learned about people. So the number one thing that I've learned, and this is in order, by the way, okay? So the number one thing that I have learned about people in 3 years is that they are freaking lost. Like, they have no idea what they're doing. It's almost a miracle that people walk into my studio. Like, they probably have had to see my advertising at RevX 3 to 4 times is what they say on average before they walk in the door. So, but when they walk in the door, they're legitimately lost, you guys. A lot of them, like us, they're brand new to fitness, right? Like they're brand new to fitness, or it's been a really long time since they've moved their body. They're really far from where they want to be, is my bottom line. And so they come in and they have these preconceived fears. They have these preconceived fears that this isn't going to work either, because everything that they've done up until this point has failed. They've joined a big box gym, or they've done the stupid Atkins diet. Why hasn't that died, you guys? Like, why hasn't the Atkins diet died? Terrible diet, right? So, but they've tried the Atkins diet. They've tried Slim Fast. They've tried a big box gym. Nothing has worked for them in the past. So they're coming in with this fear that they are going to fail again, that they're going to fail again. Okay. A lot of times the people that come in the door have no support within their own household and within their own family. I have had to, and this is no joke, I have had to be the middleman between a couple of different couples. So I had a woman that started calling the studio, like wanting to know who I was and what I was doing with her husband and all kinds of crazy stuff. Come to find out, she was the wife of one of my members, and he had not told her that he was going to the gym because he knew she wouldn't be supportive. And she found out that he was coming to the gym, and she started calling me and accusing me of a lot of terrible things when I'm really just his trainer. So that's a really like end of the spectrum, keep somebody off their deep end situation. But I'm telling you, a lot of people, when somebody makes their mind up that they want to change their health, their spouse isn't always on board. That resonates with you guys, right? Because you might be in a situation where you're really into this. Like, you don't understand why your spouse doesn't want to just watch Beachbody promo videos all night long on YouTube, because you're so into it. Like, you're so into this and your spouse isn't. That same thing happens with people that come in my door at the studio. That same thing happens when people reach out to you on their Facebook. So they not only have these fears or of these failed attempts that have happened in the past, they also have somebody barking down their neck saying, let's just order a pizza. Okay, so I'm giving you this full frame of focus because it's going to set you up for what this means for you. Okay, so most of the time, these people that come in my door, they think that they eat healthy when they really don't. I had a guy tell me, well, I eat really healthy. And when I asked him what he ate, he told me that he either eats spaghetti, pizza, or cheeseburgers every single night for dinner. He legitimately thought that that was what we should eat. So our American society as a whole, they are lost. They're completely lost. They don't know what it means to eat healthy food. They don't know vegetables to them is corn. And I'm not even kidding. I have people tell me, well, I don't like a lot of vegetables, but I will have corn a few nights a week with my dinner because corn is okay, or potatoes are okay. And I have to educate them that even though those are vegetables, they're not quite what we mean about healthy vegetables. So people are legitimately lost. Okay, they sit all day long. Most of them work a 9-to-5 job where they're sitting in front of a computer all day. And most of them, when I ask them to describe their nutrition, I have them tell me, when you wake up in the morning, what do you eat? All the way until when you go to bed. They have to fill out a food diary for me because I am a nutritionist. And most of them tell me that they eat a granola bar and a Starbucks Frappuccino for breakfast. That's what they're having, if anything. So why do you, I'm not trying to talk crap about anybody in this particular slide, right? I'm just trying to show you that most people are very, very, very far away from where they want to be. And so it could be that when you're posting on your social media about your rock star 65th day in a row of exercise, that you might not be resonating with them entirely. Okay? Sometimes we have to dial things back to meeting people where they are and remembering how we started. I have to tell all of my members that the first time I ever did P90X, I literally should have had popcorn and I should have been just sitting on my couch because Chris and I legitimately watched the entire first P90X workout. We didn't even do it. And I have to tell people that at my studio. And you know what it does? It brings everything down to even playing field. It shows them I'm not some freak of nature. I started just the way you did, right? I've come a long way and you can too. So meeting people where they are, I think, is very, very important. Their past dictates their future, right? And that's what people are mostly afraid of. It's failed in the past, so it's not going to work again. So you have to know that when you're heading into a conversation with people, because that's what's going on in their mind. The second thing that I've learned is that people have absolutely no concept of how their body is designed to feel. They think that when they drink a shake for the first time, when I give them a Shakeology sample for the first time, they think that they should feel like they've had a Red Bull. And I'm not even kidding. They'll say to me, well, I don't feel any different. Like I had that shake and I didn't feel any different. And I have to educate them and let them know that they're not going to feel like they've had a Red Bull. They're not going to feel like they have a rocket attached to their back and that they could soar into outer space. Caffeine energy is not the same as natural, healthy energy that you have and that you feel when you're eating well and when you're moving. But it sometimes means that we have to, again, meet them where they are and educate them on how their body really is designed to feel and show them that they can get there, right? So what this means for you guys too is that I think it's very easy for us to not introduce nutrition in our conversations until too late in the process. 99% of the time, someone comes to you as a coach or they come to my gym because they're ready to move their body. Like they finally convince themselves that they need to exercise, right? They have this notion that that's what it's all about. If they can just start exercising, then those donuts and that beer on the weekend won't matter as much because they're moving. But if I have the conversation with them up front, on the very first time that I meet them, the very first time that I ever sit down with them, if I start to talk about their nutrition, it doesn't mean that they're going to necessarily hop on board with it right away, but I'm planting the seed so that if the fitness doesn't follow through for them, they don't see great results, they know, you know what? It's because I didn't do the nutrition either. So it's really important when you're having conversations with people, if someone messages you asking you about Country Heat, or they message you, saying, I think I'm ready to do something, it's so important that you put the dominant emphasis on the nutrition. That way you don't receive objections about Shakeology. That way you don't receive objections about how long it takes the meal prep and all those types of things we typically hear. If you're talking about nutrition most of the time, that's what's going to matter. I shared this with some coaches at Super Sunday last weekend, I guess 2 weekends ago, I don't know when it was, that I legitimately, at the end of every class, most classes at my studio, I have a nutrition conversation and it's rhetorical. So I have a head microphone on, I've taught a fitness class, let's say that I've taught Insanity, and we've burnt 600 and some calories. People are drenched. They're like wringing out their hair before the cool down, and so I get on the microphone and I do it rhetorically. I'm not asking them for feedback. I do it in a sort of motivational way. And I say to them, why did you come to me today? Why did you come to me today? Why did you push yourself so hard if you're just going to go out and have donuts? Or you're going to go to the farmer's market and you're going to wait in line for those egg rolls. Ugh, people do that. I tell them that because why? Because I want to be that voice in their head. I want them to know that that is where their focus should be. And if they don't see results, it's because their focus is not there. Okay? So this means for you that you've got to discuss nutrition up front with your clients. If they're interested in fitness, you've got to have the nutrition conversation. Okay, number 3, third thing that I've learned. People don't ask for knowledge. They don't ask for knowledge. They require belief and they require trust. Like I said, I've owned this facility for 3 years. I've calculated that probably about 400 people have walked through the door. Right now we have about 50 members that I see on a daily or ish basis. And nobody in my 3 years has ever said, can I see your personal training certificate? Or can I see your nutrition credentials? Nobody has. Nobody has. Why is that? I think it's because, it's important. It's important that I actually have credentials, and obviously I could go to jail or whatever if I don't have those credentials. But it's more important that I establish a relationship with people when they walk in the door. I want to tell you a few things that my members have told me in the past few years, and this literally makes my heart shine. Like I feel like I'm definitely doing what I need to be doing because this just totally lights me up. I had a guy tell me one time, he said, I was LA Fitness's #1 member. He was like, I've had a membership with them for 5 years. And he said, I've probably been 5 times in 5 years. And then he said, you know what though? Here's the difference between your gym and LA Fitness. He said, at LA Fitness, I could pull up, I could be at work all day long, exhausted, decide I'm going to go to the gym. I could pull up, I could park my car right there, look in the glass, see all the people on the treadmills, and I could put my car in reverse and I could decide I'm too tired and I could go home. He said, but when I pull in here and my headlights shine in this window, you know I'm here and there's no way you're letting me go home. That's the difference between what we have to offer as coaches and every other fitness option out there. People want a relationship with you. They don't necessarily care if you have a degree in nutrition. They don't ask for it. They don't ask you for your certificate of personal trainer or whatever license. They don't ask for that. They just want to know that they can trust you and that you believe in them. Okay, so proof that belief and trust matter most. Okay, so this is kind of funny too. When Chris and I created our business model for RevX, some of you guys know this because you've been to our gym. We originally set it up as a 90-day program. So we were P90X facility. We set it up just like the program at home, and we tried to enroll people in 90 days. And what was funny was most people came in the door and they enrolled in that 90-day program, and 99% of the time, they just wanted to do the 90-day program, right? They're like, oh, I want to lose this weight. I'm going to lose 40 pounds. I'm going to lose whatever it is. But what's funny is most of them, the majority of them are still with me. And so the ones that join on day 1 at my grand opening are still my members. And the ones who joined a year ago are still members now. We have a very, very low turnover rate. We have very few people cancel their membership at our gym. And I believe that proves to you that what people want and need is my belief in them and our sense of accountability. Because I'm telling you, I am not the best fitness instructor in the area. I'm competing with a lot of talent in this area. Julie Voris is my upline. She's on Fox 59 TV. She's on ample TV stations. She's got lots of mass media publicity. And you can take her class at the Y either for free or for $2. But yet people are paying me $200 a month to be a member at my gym because I am going to make sure they show up. I'm going to make sure that they stay accountable to their goals, and I'm going to believe in them. Why does this matter to you? Why do you care about my fitness studio? Because this same thing occurs and happens in your business as a coach. That's what people want from you. They don't care what your credentials are. They care if you care about them. Okay? So stop thinking that you need to have a credential in order to succeed in the business when you really just need passion and belief. The fourth thing that I've learned is that people feed off of your energy. When I set up a fit test assessment, which I do with everybody who comes in the door, sometimes I have to meet people when it's convenient for them because they're a new member and they're paying me money to be a member of my gym. So I'm not going to be like, oh, no, I can't do any of those times, right? I have to accommodate them. Sometimes I meet people at 5:30 in the morning. Sometimes I meet them at 7:30 at night. No matter when I'm up there, I am on because I want them to feel my energy. I want them to know that I am absolutely ecstatic that they're taking this step, okay? And I give that energy in a positive way. I tell them, we're going to make this happen. We're going to get you results. We're going to get you set up with Shakeology. These goals are going to happen for you. And I also give them expectations. I let them know this is going to be so hard, but it's going to be so worth it. Right? Like I'm constantly just reinforcing what I already am passionate about, which is the fact that my products at the studio, which happen to be the same products that you're selling online, will work for them. It's going to be hard, but it's going to work for them. And so I think that energy, that positive energy comes through whether you're in person or if you're just on social media. I do a lot of exclamation points and emojis in my messages. Now, I do think that you could overkill that. I do think that you could have way too many emojis in a private message. But I don't know, I guess I would rather err on the side of excitement than err on the side of boredom. Sometimes I see messages that people send and it's like, yes, I'm excited to help you, period. What would you say your #1 goal is? ? And there's no excitement. Throw some exclamation points in there. Throw some smiley faces or some fist pumps. Like show them that energy, even if you're on social media, because it matters. They feed off of your energy. Number 5, the fifth thing that I've learned about owning the fitness studio and seeing people on a daily basis, even when I don't want to, is that people belong to my gym because of the sense of community that I have built. here's a story for you. Last Tuesday night is a very tricky evening. We either do Insanity, which is intense, or we do a variation of P90X cardio on Tuesday nights. Okay, so it's pretty killer. Last night we did a total of like 250 burpees, like 50 depth charges. Like, it's pretty nuts, right? And so last Tuesday night we had a very similar workout, and I have this member of my gym who, he's the general manager of a big car dealership up here. And sometimes, you know, because he's in sales, sometimes people walk into his business right when he's leaving, right when he's walking out the door, and he can't get to class on time. But the community that I have built accepts people no matter what time they come in the door, right? At the YMCA, if you get there 2 minutes late, they're going to lock the door on you. You can't get in. Not at my gym. If you get there with 5 minutes left and you have your shoes on, you can hop in for 5 minutes of abs, and it's better than nothing. That's the community that I have built at my facility, okay? So last Tuesday night, I'm getting off track. Last Tuesday night, this guy walks in, and it's 6:40. So class started at 6. Everybody else has done 3 rounds of this cardio circuit that we're doing. I've advertised to them that there's gonna be 4 rounds. So they're heading into their 4th round of this cardio circuit. Mike runs to the bathroom, he changes his clothes, he comes out, he decides he's gonna do it barefoot because he's so late. He just wants to get something in. He does the 4th one with them, okay? We cool down, we stretch, we grab waters, we fist bump everybody. 3 of the people walked out of the gym completely, heading to the car. See you tomorrow. And Mike said, I said to Mike myself, I said, I know you were late. I don't have anything going on tonight. I'd love to run you through at least 1 more round so that it will be worth your time. And he was like, are you sure? He's like, well, you don't have to stay for me. And I said, well, you're already dressed. And I said, I'm already sweaty. So what's another round? I'll walk you through another one. And so he goes out to his car to get something. And he tells the people who are walking out to the car, she's gonna run through it with me again. All 3 people who had walked out to their car, closed their car, grabbed their water bottle, came in, and every single person that was there that night for that workout did a 5th round with Mike. And that's because of the sense of community that we've built. Nobody was gonna let him do that by himself, which is pretty damn cool, I think. But this applies to our business in a lot of different ways, because the sense of community is what provides accountability, right? It is what makes him wanna push and do another round when he easily could walk out the door. It's what makes people wanna have each other's backs. And I think that that's important because our sense of community and what we do as coaches just happens to be through Facebook. It just happens to be through challenge groups or through things like the Health Bet, right? The environment that we're creating in those groups, the types of leadership we're providing, when we tag people and we're checking in on their progress, those are the hard things, but those are the things that people need in order to succeed. And so I think that it doesn't matter if people are walking into a gym or if they're walking into a challenge group, we have to offer them that sense of accountability and community. Number 6, people are not impressed by my abs. They're not even really that great. They're impressed by my journey. So, the first year that I taught, I really struggled because I had some area fitness gurus that were either members or they really wanted to teach at my studio, so they came to a lot of classes. And they would flaunt it, man. Like, they would work out in their sports bras and their 6-packs and everything else. And I don't do that. And anybody who works out with me, anybody who comes to my gym knows that I'm never going to take my shirt off. I'm never going to wear the booty shorts. Just doesn't happen, because I'm not trying to impress people with my body, but I am constantly telling people where I started. What I already told you earlier about how that first time I did P90X was not that flattering. It makes them laugh. It makes them realize, wow, and look how far she's come, right? She's now leading the class. She now owns this place. I can do this too. Okay, so I'm constantly coming back to meeting them where they are. So what I mean by this is really, don't get so hung up on sharing just your before and after photo of your physical change, thinking that that is what's mostly going to inspire people. Because I don't have a huge, crazy fitness transformation, right? A lot of people see my before photo and they're like, well, you didn't look so bad. So I don't have a crazy physical transformation, but I have a huge mental and emotional transformation. I have a huge transformation when it comes to the relationships that I've built, the community that we've built as a team. And so those are the types of, even the personal growth, right? Those are the types of things that I want to share with people. in addition to the before and after. So don't rely just on the physical appeal to impress people or to inspire them. Number 7, people have a life outside of the gym, okay? Hard to remember sometimes, especially sometimes on occasion when I show up for a morning class and no one else shows up, right? Really irritating because I could have either slept in, I could have done some work, could have walked my dog, could have gone to the mall, right? Sometimes really irritating when I show up and no one's there, which does happen, right? But I have to remember that people have a life outside of the gym. It's not about me. It's not about me hitting Success Club, right? It's not about you as a coach hitting Success Club or 3 Lives Club. Sometimes it really is about checking in with people when you do those follow-ups and asking them about how their life is going. I had a woman who literally stood me up for a personal training session. By the way, I've had to fire many people from personal training. But this particular person didn't show up. And I was really, really ticked off because I was really tired and I really didn't want to show up at the gym at 6 a.m. to lead her anyway, because I'm not a morning person, but I did, and she didn't show up. So I was really irritated. And I reached out to her and I could have said, like, what's the deal, yo? Like, you know, I was just kind of up there hanging out. Thanks for letting me know. But instead I said, is everything okay? And she wrote back this novel about how her father's disabled and he had fallen the night before and she had gone over to take care of him, and she went through this whole story about why she didn't show up at the gym. And so I tell you this because it matters when you're doing your follow-ups with people. You know, on your mind is, I want this person in my Country Heat Challenge group, right? I want them to succeed. I want my 3 Lives Club points. I want to get them in this group and I want to move on. But what's happening in their mind might not be the same thing. They might have obligations. They might have things that they're doing, which is why we follow up in the first place, right? But don't be thinking it's all about you. Be thinking of maybe things that are possibly going on in their life and ask them about it. How are things going? If someone hasn't responded to you after 2 follow-ups, maybe you just dial it back and say, is everything okay? And see what they have to tell you. We're constantly building relationships in this business, and we're constantly getting to know people even after the sale has concluded. Okay, number 8, people judge their overall fitness. This is a funny one. They judge their overall fitness on their weight. They think that they're either fit or not fit, healthy or not healthy, based on the scale. I had a girl, a new client, tell me that she wants to lose 60 pounds. And I said, okay, how much do you weigh now? And she was like, I don't know. And I said, well, okay, well, how do you know how much weight you want to lose if you don't know how much you weigh? And so we had a nice heart-to-heart about how your BMI and what you're eating and how you're feeling plays a better, greater role than just your body weight. And so, like I told you before, most people that come in the door tell me that they eat M&Ms, they eat Totino's pizza rolls, they identify their vegetables as things like corn and potatoes. And it just goes to show that they don't know what they don't know. I'm not making fun of these people, you guys. I used to be this person. Chris and I used to go to the Mexican restaurant across the street and order double fajitas. Like, we would scorn you if you brought us corn tortillas, because we definitely wanted flour tortillas. We definitely wanted cheese. And we would literally say to them, no veggies, like no onions, no peppers, like no thank you, right? We were these people. We thought we were making wise choices. People don't know what they don't know. And so this applies to you. It applies to us in our coaching business, because we have to be educating people on things through our social media. If we're just posting about this, I don't even know, like eggplant turkey burger that we made out of our Fixate cookbook, and we don't tell them why that's important or how that factors into our plan, or why it's a better option than XYZ, then what's the point in sharing our food? People get really annoyed about people sharing their food all the time, right? Like, they want to say, go to Instagram, like share your food on Instagram. I don't want to see it here, because they don't know why that should resonate with them. They think that eating healthy means eating nasty turkey bacon. How many of you have had an experience where you've talked to somebody who thinks that eating healthy is eating nasty turkey bacon? My mom, I'm raising her hand right now. She's not on this call, but she literally tells me all the time, I don't know how you eat that stuff. It's terrible, right? She thinks that that's what eating healthy is. People don't know what they don't know. And so we have to know that when we are sharing our insight, when we're sharing our own journey, we have to educate along the way. Number 9, people need direction. I alluded to this quite a bit in the webinar from a few weeks ago called Closing the Sale, I think was the name of it. And I've actually seen this now that I've had that, led that webinar. I've seen this just ring true over and over and over again. People are looking for you to tell them exactly what they need to do, like literally down to the detail. When people come into the gym, I literally say things to them like, okay, so here's what we're gonna do. You're gonna give me your Visa, because we don't take American Express, and I'm gonna slide it here. It's gonna sign you up for an auto membership. It's gonna bill you every 30 days. I think you should consider Shakeology, which we talked about in your nutrition assessment. If you're interested, what I'll do is I'll compile your fit test results, I'll email them to you, and then I'll also send you an enrollment for Shakeology and 21-Day Fix combo. Sound good? I literally tell them what's going to happen, because what people are afraid of is a lack of direction. When you don't provide direction, then they have to think things over, or they have objections, or they're not ready to act right away. I'm not trying to convince anybody to do anything they don't want to do. I'm just trying to make things move a lot smoother and actually get something done. Because there have been cases where I have not been authoritative, and they don't order their Shakeology for 6 months. And guess what? 6 months of not very good results, right? So saying things like, I'm going to generate your order. It's going to come to your email. You're going to open it, click on the button, and complete the order. And then when you're done, you're going to message me and let me know that you did, and I'll add you to the group. It sounds silly to talk to people kind of like in an elementary way, but that's what people need. They need it. They need to be told that, right? So this means that you guide the conversations. When you're talking to somebody in a private message, you're in charge. You ask the questions. You ask about their ultimate goals. You ask about how much time per day they have to work out, etc. And then you close the deal by offering direction. The number one reason that I see, you guys, I probably see 15 of your conversations a day, for those of you who share them with me. And the number one reason that you're not achieving 3 Lives Club in some cases is because you're not closing the deal and you're not offering direction on the order. You've gotten them to a point where they're interested, and then for some reason, because you haven't offered direction, they've fallen off. Okay, and I say that with love, because a lot of you are getting way better at it because you've heard this tip and you watched the webinar from a few weeks ago. So you offer that detailed direction, you set the expectations, and you move forward. Okay, last but not least, number 10, the best way for people to see results is when they embrace all 3 solutions: fitness, nutrition, and support. I have learned this in 3 years in so many different ways. Let me give you an example. I have a member who I've already mentioned before who started with me. I have right now, I would guess 90% of my clients, maybe 95, on Shakeology. They drink it, they have it, either I make it for them in the studio or they drink it at home. I have one particular client who has been resistant to the Shakeology from the beginning, right? Like he tried it, wasn't a huge fan, didn't want to spend the money. He's been a member of my gym for a year, and I think he's lost 11 pounds, and the 11 pounds that he lost in the first 2 months. He's not lost anything since then. Every night when I make my little motivational spiel about what you're eating and everything else, he jokes around and tells me where he's going for dinner. Usually it's Mexican food, not healthy Mexican food, I'm sure, but Mexican food, cheeseburgers, going out for pizza, all the traditional out to eat garbage. Sometimes it's even Taco Bell, Burger King, right? So I'm constantly saying to him, Tim, you can't do this to me. Don't do this to me. Don't eat that tonight. And I'm constantly giving him suggestions, right? I'm constantly that voice in his ear. For the first time in over a year, Monday night, I have the 21-Day Fix containers sitting out on the counter at my gym. He stayed after to talk to me about the containers because he said, you know what, I love working out here and I feel so much stronger, but something has to give. He says, something isn't working. I'm missing something. And he goes, I have you and I have this gym and I have these workouts. So the only thing missing is my nutrition. So I tell you this story because I've seen that in a million different ways. Right? And so the cool thing about what we do have to offer is that we offer all 3 things in one. There are other direct marketing companies out there who provide nutrition, which is also questionable, but they provide nutrition, right? Nobody else packages workouts, nutrition, and support in one with a coach. So, okay. So last but not least, I don't know what I wrote here. So let me see what I wrote. Okay. So what does this mean for you? It means stop saying, oh yeah. Okay. I know what I was going to say. So this means, in addition to what I just said, this means that, sometimes from some of you, I hear things like, oh, well, this girl that I was talking to, she decided she didn't want the challenge pack. She's just going to buy the 21-day fix. And I just want to like take my fingernails and like put them into my eyes and just like rip my face off, because I really think that if Susie would have had a different conversation, Susie would be on board with a full solution with fitness, nutrition, and support. She'd be in our challenge group. She'd be rocking her results, and there would be a lot of non-wasted time that passes by. But if she's just going to do the program, she's not going to have optimal results, and she's not going to have it as quickly as she would if she had all three, right? So I share that with you because it's important. Sometimes we hide behind we let the customer guide the conversation. They tell, if someone says to me, I don't want Shakeology, I basically say, too bad. Like, I don't say it in that sort of way, but if they say, I don't really want Shakeology, I just am going to do the 21-day fix, I say, well, I'm really sorry. Okay, well, I can set you up with that, but that's not going to get you into my accountability group with my private coaching, and it's not going to set you up with the nutrition aspect of things that you need. I'm okay with saying that because I've been in this business long enough to know that people are going to have the best results with the full package. Okay, so newer coaches listening to this, take that to heart and just know that sometimes it's okay to stand your ground and to say, you know what, I actually do think that you want to reconsider that. And I do think you want to reconsider going for the full deal. Okay, so last but not least, people are insecure oftentimes. They come in your door, they come into your Facebook Messenger because they don't like the way they look, they don't like the way they feel, and they have really low energy. It's taken them some guts to come to you when they come to you. In some cases, when you're coming to them and you're starting conversations with them, they're starting off with these hesitations and fears in the back of their mind about the failed attempts that they've had before, about the family surroundings that they have that might not be conducive to them getting better, right? And they just don't feel good. So these are the types of people that you're working with. But the cool part about this is I don't tell you this to make you depressed. I tell you this because it is so revolutionarily awesome when you can take somebody from that to confident, to feeling good, to feeling like they look good, to knowing that they feel good in their own skin. That's an amazing feeling as a coach, and that's what we do this for. For those of you who follow my Facebook page, I had to go buy a bigger bulletin board today because my bulletin board was too small. My bulletin board keeps all of the thank you notes and the sort of inspirational messages that I receive from customers and clients. And so I kind of had like this, I worked on my bulletin board today before I did this PowerPoint, so it was front of mind. But I was putting these Post-its and these little notes that I've gotten and these postcards from the mail, I was putting them all up on this bulletin board, and I was rereading them, which I haven't read them, for 3 years because I've just been sticking them up there. And so I was rereading them today, and it's pretty darn cool, even to see where those people are now, even later than when they sent me those messages. So that's why we do what we do, because we're really looking to make a difference. We really are making a difference. But I just want you guys to know that this is the way people feel when they come to you. This is what they're thinking, and this is exactly how you need to be responding, right? People need what you have to offer. You have the tools to change their lives. Shakeology will change their life. A program like the 21-day fix meal plan will sell their life. I just totally botched that. Will change their life. P90X will change their life. Any of the programs that are in our toolkit will change their life. Mostly the challenge group will change their life. That's where their life is going to be changed, is in that accountability factor. If right now you're focusing your social media content and your invites on products, if you're talking all the time till you're blue in the face about the 21-day fix, I'm asking you to shift your focus and sell you. Sell your story. Sell the fact that you're proof the products work. Sell the fact that you're an accountability partner for people and that you're their friend, because that's what's going to make people want to work with you. If I just had a 21-day fix combo pack sitting on my counter at the studio and I didn't build relationships with people, nobody would ever buy it, right? They're buying it because they're buying into themselves. They're buying into the belief that I have in them that they don't have yet. So people don't need Jillian Michaels. They don't need sometimes you see where people have they literally, it's almost like they're like a serial liker of all things fitness on Facebook, hoping someone's going to motivate them. They belong to 3 different gyms. Most of my members have been able to cancel more than 2 to 3 gym memberships by joining my gym because they're getting what they need and what they want. So they're getting the accountability and they're getting the relationship with me. So I hope that you can take what I have given you and sort of like my insights and hopefully think about how this can pertain to your business, how this can pertain to how you interact with people and how you talk to people. I really do truly believe that if we can be intuitive and if we can be aware of commonalities in the messages that we're having, if we're having to fight back the same objections, if we're having to say the same things over and over again, then it's typically a lapse in the emotional intelligence that we have about that particular aspect of a conversation. It's something that we can improve upon ourselves, right? It has nothing to do with the person. It has everything to do with us. So was this helpful? Do you guys have any questions for me or anything that you want me to touch on in further detail? No, you guys are gonna be quiet. I'm gonna take a drink.
Hey, Jenny, it's Nicole.
Mm-hmm.
This was actually very helpful for me. So
good. Cool.
Do you put these presentations somewhere?
I do. Yep. So this will be recorded. Well, this was recorded, and the recording will go posted in our team page tomorrow. On
Okay.
Facebook. Cool. So bottom line really is that people need what we have, and that people also really just want to talk about themselves. So the more that you can let somebody talk about themselves and their goals and where they want to get to from where they are, the more likely you are to build the right type of relationship with them. Okay, you guys. Does anybody have any questions? I'm totally open to any commentary. I'm glad to see you're all still here because I did that whole thing without seeing anybody's face. So, hi, Noah.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, cool. So I will post this recording in the team page tomorrow, most likely tomorrow morning. If you have any questions, let me know. And then I'll also be providing some information and probably a Facebook event for both our sneak peek and for the health bet. So be on the lookout for that coming before the end of the week. Thanks you guys for being on here live. Share the recording with your teams and I'll talk to you soon. See ya.